ACT. Action Bets, Week 2, 2020. We want to talk about what we learned off of game Week 1 and go to Week 2 and find out where the plays are.
Yeah, we did 2-1 last week, Captain. I was 1-0. You were 1-1. We're going to keep it rolling. We got to watch 1 week. It's smart. Sit back, see who's playing well, who got hurt, who's going to get better, who can we expect to get better. You know, everything's still in the air. Week 2 of the NFL. But last week, we at least learned a little bit more without having a preseason, Captain.
Well, I want to put it to you this way. What I learned was that if a quarterback doesn't have his number 1 to go to, he's in trouble. Because I'll tell you right now, in a game, the average possessions you're going to have is 11. It's between 10 and 12 a game on the average. So the average 11 possessions, and I'll guarantee you, you're going to go to your number 1 receiver 25% of the time. If you look at what happened with the Texans, where Hopkins went from the Texans to Arizona, Arizona won it outright. Deebo Samuel was supposed to play in that game. He was out. They lost. Then you look at the other guy with Stephon Diggs. He goes from Minnesota to Buffalo. Buffalo wins. Minnesota loses. What I'm saying is you have to have your number 1 guy. And this is what I'm telling you this week. This is why my best bet of the week is not a 5, but a 10-unit play.
Hey, well, let's get right down to it. Week 1 NFL picks on Action Bets coming at you right now. All right, the game that I like, Captain, this week, I got to tell you, that caught my eye is a team that didn't look so impressive Week 1, but they're going back home and they're going to have fans. And I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Atlanta Falcons. Minus 4.5 points for the Cowboys here. I think Zeke Elliott is going to have a big game. He had 98 yards with 1 TD last week, 22 carries. You got to give this man the ball. And also, quarterback Dak Prescott has to figure out a way to get everybody involved. Amari Cooper got most of the looks, but they got to get Lamb and they got to get Gallup in the mix here. And I think that's what they do this week against a Falcons team that gave up 38 points last week. So I expect big things from the Cowboys this week. And also, pay attention to Alden Smith on the defense for the Cowboys. This guy was off for 4 years, came back 11 tackles and 1 sack. This guy's a monster. He's going to be a big key to the Dallas winning this game. So my take is the Cowboys minus 4.5 here versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, what you have to look at this week in Week 2 is what defenses played and what defenses didn't play. You can look at the game that I really like is the Minnesota Vikings going to Indianapolis Colts. Neither one of these teams played defense, okay? And you have to look at it. Kirk Cousins only had 5 passes in the first half. I look for this game to be on the button and be pushing the button the whole way. Because neither of these teams have defenses. I'm going over 48.5. Okay, now my 10-unit play. My first 10-unit play of the year, okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to do 10 units with the points, and I'm going to bet 5 units on the money line. That's how strong this play is. And I'm telling you right now, you got to go to Vegas because it's all about Las Vegas Raiders. First game in their first stadium, and I want to tell you, right now, Michael Thomas is out. Michael Thomas is out, and that's the go-to guy for Drew Brees. 17, 16, 15 receptions. A game! Last week, Kamara, 12 rushes, 16 yards. The guy you're going to have to double up is going to be the tight end, Jared. You're going to use the over-under on him to cover him up and box him in. And on the outside, Emmanuel Sanders. You locked up these 2 guys. Not only are they going to cover, they'll win the game outright. So Oakland +6, guaranteed Chevrolet. Go pay the rent.
All right, I got 1 more pick. I gave out 1 last week. I'm going to go 2 this week. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself, and I'm looking at a game on Sunday night. Patriots versus the Seahawks. That is correct, my friends. And I'm going to take the Seahawks here. The Seahawks had a big win last week, 38-25 against the Falcons. And guess what? Russell Wilson still impresses me every single year. This guy, he's won 2 out of 3 starts against the Patriots in his career. 888 yards, 8 TDs, and 1 interception. If there's a man that knows Belichick, it's Russell Wilson. So he completed 31 out of 35 passes against the Falcons. And I'm talking about Russell Wilson. He's a monster. He's the key here. Okay, Cam Newton, they won their first game against a weak Dolphins. You know what? And what I'm looking at, look at Cam Newton's record versus Seattle. 2-6 when he was in Carolina. 60% completion pass ratio against, the Seahawks here. So, looking at that, I think Cam Newton's going to have a hard time. He only targeted 3 players last week, and I expect them to have big trouble in Seattle. I expect Russell Wilson to just tear through that defense in the Patriots. So I'm going to take Seattle minus 4 points here versus the Patriots at home. That's Sunday Night Football, baby. Get in tune.